I think it's easy to look at people who are successful and think that they just that there was some kind of miracle. And certainly there is a lot of luck, right? So I don't want to downplay that, but really building anything big starts with building small things. And the hardest thing to actually do is to get started. So for me, I didn't know anything about computers, and the biggest leap was actually just deciding that was something that I thought was interesting, and then just starting to learn about how to change computers, how to program, and the things that I built were just so bad for such a long period of time that I wouldn't have even bothered showing them to my sisters or trying to force them to use them. But you kind of need to go through that. I don't know anyone who just started off and was naturally amazing at anything, whether it was music or teaching or being an inspirational leader or manager or an engineer. So all of these things require practice and patience. So you kind of just need to find what you care about and understand that you're not necessarily going to start off that good at it, but if you focus on just kind of building little things and getting better one step along the way, you really can do amazing things. And I've just seen that time and time again, at both Facebook and the Foundation and all my friends' companies and the things that I see a lot of folks building, or the students that I'm teaching and the different things that they're building. It's really amazing what you can do when you put your time into it over a multiple-year period. So I would just encourage you guys to stay patient and keep practicing and keep pushing.
Somewhat related questions. ¿Debo ir o quedarme a la universidad? Should I stay or should I go?
I mean, you should stay. One of the things that I think a lot of people ask me this kind of question. It's did I want to start a company? Did I think I was going to drop out? And the answer is actually I didn't want to create a company when I was a kid. I actually used to not think that companies were that effective ways of doing things. And because you see these big companies, and it's easy to think that they can be bureaucratic and. So the thing that happened to me was I built the first version of Facebook, and then a lot of people wanted to use it, and I needed help to be able to make it reach its full potential and help connect everyone. And along the way, I kind of decided that the right way to do that was to create a company and start hiring people. But really, what I chose wasn't to build a company. It was that I cared about this mission of connecting people and trying to build Facebook to be that and to give people all the tools that they need to share and communicate. And, it was because I cared so much about that mission that I ended up creating a company and then ultimately leaving school. But I think unless you know exactly what you want to do, school is a great place to go pick up skills and meet really talented people who are interested in a diverse set of things, and also give you some time to work on things on the side. Right? I got an opportunity to work on Facebook because I was taking some classes, but I had a couple of free weeks when my work didn't take up all my time. But if I had a job at that point, it probably would have been a little bit harder to do. So I don't know. I encourage you guys all to stay in school and keep learning and building the skills that you need. And also, I think focus on a mission and a change that you want to make in the world, rather than just that you want to start a company. That's the path that you go down. Because the best companies tend to get started by people who really want to change something, rather than people who just want to create a company.
Question from someone that maybe doesn't have a clear idea or an entrepreneurial plan, and is wondering cómo funciona el proceso de selección para ser empleado en Facebook. What's the selection process for hiring employees on Facebook?
So we hire for lots of different things. I mean, certainly today we've talked a lot about engineering and designing products, because that's my background and that's what I focused on. But we do a lot of other things too. Whether you're interested in kind of government policy or sales or marketing and kind of enabling businesses to reach their potential by using Facebook products, or we have interesting legal challenges, right? So if you're a lawyer, a place like Facebook is a great place to be. There are all these different things that we do. And Obviously in each area, if you want to be an engineer at Facebook, it's helpful to know how to program, right, and be good at that, obviously. But for a lot of these other things like sales, people don't necessarily have a lot of experience in sales before they come to work for us. So what we really look for are people who are passionate and have shown that they can succeed at something. Because what we've found is that if you're the type of person who has the grit and the drive to keep practicing until you succeed at something, then you're very likely to also be able to extend those skills to be able to succeed in other areas as well. So, if there's a technical area that you want to do, like engineering, it helps to have some practice doing that. But if you want to do something like sales or marketing or policy, there's probably pretty minimal background that you need to do, besides just being fascinated and just being a talented person who has shown that you can do something well, whether that's, raise money for a cause that you care about, or be captain of a sports team, or accomplish something that shows that you're the type of person who's a natural leader who can drive and be the best at something that you want to do.
Esta mañana te has reunido con el presidente. ¿De qué habéis hablado? You just met the president this morning. What did you guys talk about?
Internet.org and this vision of connecting the world. I mean, Mexico is further ahead than most countries in the world. Globally, only 1/3 of people are on the internet, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. That 2/3 of people in the world don't have any access to this global network or all the information and communication and health and education tools that we kind of take for granted. In Mexico, it's a bit better. About half of people are on the internet. So that's better than the world is doing overall. But I mean, that's still half of people, about 60 million people who still need access to the internet. And with the Internet.org program that we're working on at Facebook, we're working with operators and partners worldwide and governments. We want to try to bring that to Mexico as well, to try to connect the next 60 million people, because we think that that's going to be great not only for those people, but overall for the economy, just to have those people, just to have everyone having access to information and jobs and more education materials. And we think that that's a great thing that we just want to push on doing. So that was the main thing that we talked about. We also talked for a little bit around using Facebook to help small businesses sell their products and create more jobs. That's a big thing that we care about. We have about 40 million business pages on Facebook globally. And so that's something that we're really proud of, is that a lot of businesses use Facebook to help build their business and sell their products and connect with customers. And we want to keep on making that a better thing, and we think that can help grow the economy here as well. So we want to focus on that too.
Also one question on cyberbullying, which I think is the other third topic that you cover. What are we doing on the cyberbullying front? ¿Qué estamos haciendo con el acoso digital?
Yeah, I mean, cyberbullying it's a really big problem online. As soon as you give people any tools to communicate, most people are going to use that for good. And then there's always going to be a small set of people who use it to give each other a hard time and make someone's life difficult. And it's something that we just care really deeply about. Identifying cases where we think that there might be bullying, stopping it. What we found is that often just telling someone how they're making another person feel is enough to stop the behavior. So we've worked a lot at Facebook just to give people tools to express how content that people are posting makes them feel. At most other services that you use, there might be like somewhere where you can report that a photo is against the terms of service of a service. But at Facebook, what we focused on is making it so, let's say someone posts something that you don't like. What we encourage you to do is share how that made you feel. Did it make you feel embarrassed or exposed or sad or angry? And what we find is that by exposing that is probably the number one thing that just cuts down on bullying across the network, because we're all human and we all care about how other people think. And then there are cases where we need to do more to identify bad content and get people off the network and reach out to people when they're having a hard time. But this is just generally an area where we take it very seriously and work with local governments to make sure that we can serve the community as best as possible.
I have one last question, and we'll do a rapid fire and close it out. But this is a very interesting question from Adriana Contreras. I was asking, ¿qué sigue para Mar después de Facebook? What's for you after Facebook?
After Facebook?
Después de Facebook, yes, after Facebook.
We've only connected 1/6 of the world. So, I mean, we'll see. It's accelerating. It took us about 10 years to connect the first 1/6 of the world. So, at that pace, it will take me my whole life to complete our mission. So there's not that much beyond that I'm really looking for at this point. But I mean, I'm really serious about this. I think, in our lifetime, I do think that, all 7 billion people in the world will have the same access to the internet and opportunities that brings. And I just think that that's going to be a much better world, not only for the people who are going to get access, but for all of us, because we can enjoy the creativity and the work that all those folks who aren't on the internet yet are going to be able to do to make the world better. And that's what I care the most about. So I mean, as time goes on, I'm also going to spend a bit more time on the foundation, things like education and health, and hopefully we can get immigration sorted out soon, but it unfortunately looks like that's going to take a bit longer as well, so I'll probably be focused on that for a while, but I don't know, I think I have enough on my plate, so I'm going to focus on these until we succeed.
Very cool. Okay, so just a set of very quick questions. Do you have a pet?
Yeah, I have this mop dog. I say that because he actually looks like a mop. You can check him out on Facebook. His name is Beast.
What did you study at school?
I was actually, at college, I was a dual major. I studied psychology and computer science. So a lot of people don't know that. They think I just studied computer science. But a lot of why I care so much about people, and I mean, I care as much about how people work.
Who's your role model?
That's an interesting question. I mean, growing up, I always really admired Bill Gates because he was so mission-focused and putting a computer on every desk. But, the more I learn about Carlos Slim, the more I'm thinking that I'm wrong the whole time. Or at least you have multiple
What sports do you like?
sports. My wife and I play tennis. I like going running with our dog. It's fun to watch a mop run. I grew up as a Yankees fan, which I understand Mr. Slim is a fan as well. But yeah, I grew up in New York, but it's not bad to live in the place where your team wins like a quarter at a time.
What music do you like?
I like a lot of different things. We just got married a couple of years ago, and we played some Shakira songs at our wedding. That was what Priscilla walked out to at the end. So Shakira got a kick out of that when I told her that. But she's a big fan. I'm a big fan of hers.
What was my favorite food?
What's up?
Favorite food?
Food. Fried chicken. I really do like Mexican food. There's actually, because someone yelled that out from the audience. There's my favorite Mexican place in Palo Alto, where our headquarters are. I love this one restaurant so much that I convinced them to open up a branch in our campus so that we could eat there all the time. Yeah, Palo Alto Soul is the name of the place. I love it.
All right, very good. So you have any last words for the audience that you want to share?
No, I mean, thank you guys so much for welcoming me. The energy has been awesome. It's so inspiring to be here with you guys. You have such a bright future ahead of you. Stay focused. Keep focused on building awesome things, and you're going to do awesome things in the world.